Member state of the Arab League. The Libyan House of Representatives is the legislature of Libya, resulting from the 2014 Libyan parliamentary election, which had an 18% turnout. In late 2014, following the failed coup attempt to take over the capital Tripoli in the context of the Libyan civil war, the House of Representatives relocated itself to Tobruk in the far east of Libya. Several hour sessions were held in Tripoli in May 2019 while Tripoli was under armed attack, electing an interim speaker for 45 days. Between 2014 and 2021, the House of Representatives supported the Tobruk-based government led by Abdullah Al-Thani. In March 2021, the House of Representatives approved the formation of a government of national unity led by Abdul Hamid Dbeib Bey. The Libyan House of Representatives officially became a legislative body on 4 August 2014, following an election on 25 June 2014, replacing the General National Congress. Turnout at the election was 18%, down from 60% in the first post-Gaddafi election of July 2012. Because of security concerns, no voting took place in some locations. As of 2014, the chairman was Agula Salah Issa. As of 2014, the deputy presidents of the Council of Deputies were Imam Shib and Ahmad Huma. As of 2019, the Hawz Associated Executive Authority is the second Al-Thani cabinet, led by Prime Minister Abdullah Al-Thani. Based in Baida, Libya, the Tripoli-based Libyan Supreme Constitutional Court ruled on 6 November 2014 that the June elections were unconstitutional and that the House of Representatives should be dissolved. The House of Representatives rejected the ruling, saying that the ruling was made at gunpoint, with the court being controlled by armed militias. In late 2014, a rival parliament in Tripoli was restored. The General National Congress, the House of Representatives, did not recognize the new GNC and voted on 6 October 2015, 112 out of 131, to extend its term beyond 20 October. Given the inability to hold elections, in late 2014, following the occupation of Tripoli by armed Islamist groups during the Second Libyan Civil War, the House of Representatives relocated to Tobruk in the far east of the country. Since there was not enough housing for them, they initially hired a car ferry from a Greek shipping company, the Eliros of Anak Lines, for members to live and meet in. Later the Ho relocated to the Dar al-Salam Hotel in Tobruk. In October 2015, the UN envoy for Libya, Bernardino Leon, announced a proposal for the House of Representatives to share power with the rival new GNC government, under a compromise Prime Minister, Fayez al-Sarraj. However, the terms of the final proposal were not acceptable to either side, and both rejected it. Nonetheless, the proposal did spark a revised proposal put together by Fayez al-Sarraj and others, which was subsequently supported by the United Nations. On 17 December 2015, members of the House of Representatives and the new General National Congress signed this revised political agreement, generally known as the Libyan Political Agreement, or the Skhirat Agreement. Under the terms of the agreement, a 9-member presidency council and a 17-member interim government of national accord would have been formed, with a view to holding new elections within 2 years. The House of Representatives would have continued to exist as a legislature, and an advisory body, to be known as the High Council of State, would have been formed with members nominated by the new General National Congress. On 31 December 2015, Chairman of the House of Representatives, Agula Salah Issa, declared his support for the Libyan political agreement. As of April 2016, the Libyan National Elections Commission was still considering its recommendations on legislation to implement the next election of the House of Representatives. A new round of talks that started in October 2017 in Tunis broke down a month later without a deal. On 17 December 2017, General Khalifa Haftar declared the so-called Skhirat Agreement void. Early in April 2019, during the 2019-20 Western Libya campaign, 31 members of the House of Representatives made a public statement supporting the attack on Tripoli, and 49 members made a public statement opposing the attack. On 2 May, 51 members of the HO held a session at the Rixos Al Narsa Hotel. They stated that their session was not intended to split up the HO nor Libya and called other members of the HOR to attend another Tripoli session planned for the 5th of May. They opposed the use of military force, called for a political solution to the offensive, and called for the Presidential Council, in its role as the head of the Libyan armed forces, to appoint a new head of the army to replace Khalifa Haftar, who had been appointed by the HOR on the 2nd of March 2015. On the 5th of May, a Tripoli session of 47 members of the House of Representatives elected Al-Sadiq al-Kahili as interim speaker, Musab al-Arbad as a rapporteur and Hamouda Siala as a spokesperson. For AP